So we got our door hung. Now we're gonna start making our drawer front here. So that's gonna be the part that covers up our ugly plywood front. So we're gonna pop our drawer in, and then glue up a bunch of pieces of wood to make our drawer front. And I've already done that off camera. We all know how to glue up stuff by now, so I just went ahead and glued this up so you get the idea. This is the rough glue up. We pop it out with the clamps. And that's gonna go right here. Again, that's an inch thick rough. And then on this measurement, I think I wanted it between a little over 6.5 inches this way. 7 inches is a good number. And I believe 14 is a good number for your rough number that way. Let me double check. Yeah, around 14 is fine. It's a rough number. So what I'll do next off camera, I'll scrape the glue off with the glue scraper. And then I will run through the planer, cut it to size in the table saw, cut it to size in the chop saw, route the front, and come back and show you how to install it. Okay, off camera, I got my drawer front all made up here, a little rounded corner there. If you look here, I got my drawer front the same size as my door itself, so the width of the door is the same as the length of the drawer front. So that's all lined up right here. Next thing I want to do is space my drawer front out so that it's 3/4 of an inch away from this line right here. And just like we did on the door, we drew a line 3/4 of an inch up to show where the door lines up. We want to draw a line 3/4 of an inch down to figure out where the drawer front lines up. So what we're going to do, pull our drawer out, get yourself a little line. And again, I know you can't see it, but it is 3/4 of an inch. So let me make that line a little bigger. So from this edge to that line is 3/4 of an inch. So what that means is, the same as the door itself, the drawer front is 3/4 of an inch bigger each way around. So from here to here, it's 3/4 of an inch overhang. From here to here, 3/4 overhang. Here to here, 3/4 overhang. But all we need to do is get this line right there and then line it up with our door here. And then we're all set. To do that, what I'm going to do is cut a scrap piece of wood, the size between the door and that line. So I'll measure that out. Go to the table saw, rip a scrap piece of wood down to that number, and we'll install this drawer front. So in this case, it's 1/2 inch. So I'm going to get a little 1/2 inch spacer, and that'll allow me to install my drawer front easy. So we got our little spacer piece cut, and we're gonna plop our drawer box in and our drawer front. And then just with our fingers, we can make sure they're lined up. If you want to get a straight piece of wood and kind of make sure they're in the right zone, that'd be fine too. All right, so now we're gonna put some screws to the back side of the drawer box into the drawer front. To do that, we're gonna use an 1/8 inch drill bit. I got set up right here, a little 1/8 inch guy. And then what we'll do is, from the inside of the drawer, we're gonna poke 4 holes. I'm just gonna let the drill itself kind of tell me where to drill those holes. I mean, you want to be in the corners, but the drill itself will kind of limit the where you put it. So let me do that. Alright, so there's my little holes there. Next thing I'm going to do is take my countersink bit, and I'm going to countersink the inside of those holes so the screws sit nice and flush with the wood. I guess it's helpful if you use the same drill so that your holes will line up. Just switch to the same drill that I used for the and that way when you put your screws in, they sit nice and even with your wood. All right, screws we're using here, they might be silver, they might be black. They're 1-inch drywall screws, and what I'm going to do is drive these in with a screwdriver just so the tips are poking through the front, and that's going to allow us a good way to align our drawer front. And maybe it'd be helpful if you see what I can be doing here. So I'm just driving these screws in. Harder without a camera person. All right. So that would be too far sticking out. You want it about about 1/8 of an inch or so. 3/16, maybe 7/32. Depends on your proclivity. All right, so there we are. Focus, there we are. So about like that, you just want your screws to stick out. And then we'll plop this back into the project here. And then I'm gonna give myself a quick arrow. That means that is the up, so we don't lose our reference. And we'll line up our drawer front on our spacer block. Spacer block goes here. Drawer front goes here. With your fingers, line it up so it's nice and even here and here. And then what we're going to do is put pressure and we're going to use those screws. And what I'm going to do is circle the indentations that the screws made. All right, so you see those little indentations there? So that is where the screws poked the drawer front. Now very carefully with my 1/8 inch drill bit, I am going to actually, let me get a piece of masking tape. So we're gonna put a little piece of masking tape on there so that we know how far to drill down, because if we go through the drawer front, you'll be left with a hole in your drawer front. Nobody likes that. Well, maybe some people do. I don't. All right, here we go. So I just want to make sure that my drill doesn't poke through. So I'm going to put a little piece of masking tape on that as a little reminder of where to stop. So as I'm drilling through, masking tape goes about that far, and we stop with the masking tape. So I'm just going to drill here without the camera person, so whatever. And then very awkwardly, and then here. And then here. All right. So we have our arrow sticking up like that. We're gonna put our spacer back on. I'm gonna wiggle that in there till the screws find their position. And then I'm gonna take it out without moving the drawer front. Plopping it down on the bench. Again, make sure you don't move the drawer front. That's in the right spot. And then I'll grab our impact driver and snug it up. All right, screws nice and flush. Cross your fingers. Should do it all right. Oh my gosh, it looks nice. Okay, so there we have our drawer front installed on your drawer. Lined up with our door and ready for our top next. All right.